good with y'all, family? Hope y'all having a good day today. But we gonna talk about, just walking away, especially when you're in a position or situation to where your energy is being taken for granted, y'all. Don't let no one toy you or feel like they're above you. You're the main character in your reality, y'all. You know, so focus more on becoming and paying attention to the littlest things, y'all. You know, your Lord, your life is about building, y'all. So build it. You're the builder. You know, don't let what others think of you, or just people, places, or opportunities, y'all. No one could put your worth in a jar, y'all, and label that hoe. Hell nah. They're only labeling their worth by exposing their insecurities to the surface because you're just being. You know, once you learn how to be and add patience behind that, y'all, you become a dangerous target because, you know, people are confused by people who are not, aggressive towards life, y'all. You want to learn how to adapt and live with life. Flow with it, y'all. You know, if the day is gonna, break you and you know that, will change your thoughts and your mind because, you will feel better and more better things will come your way. People say attraction starts with the mind, so if you think about it too much or you are worrying about bad thoughts, well, that's what's going to be handed to you, family. But walking away, yo, it's not just, defying against them, but it's self-respect, yo. You must value yourself on another level because you realize that people out here ain't finna be playing with me, because that just shows you the realm that they are experiencing mentally, yo. They're not on a higher realm of peace and, enlightenment, yo, because they're not worrying about, advancing up higher and, awareness, maybe in peace as well. But you want more out of life, yo. You feel like the bare minimum ain't nothing for me, because that's your purpose, yo. It's forming. It's in the beginning stages, but you're slowly questioning your worth because you feel like there's more to offer than what's being handed to me. That's when you start going out in the world and looking, but you realize looking is only going to help you so much until you choose to become, so, let's just give you an example of my life, okay, family? So, I had people in the past, yo, that, were toxic, and I'm not gonna slander or throw any, targets on anybody, but it is what it is. So, let's just say that I would, walk. I used to walk, y'all, before I had cars and before I could get anywhere, y'all. I didn't have that good ass life that everybody wants to have, y'all. You gotta adapt with the struggle, y'all, to get out of the struggle, right? I was in the struggle for a while, but when I was walking, y'all, I was looked at differently, y'all. People wouldn't, respect me, or they wouldn't, want to fuck with me in a way to where they, genuinely, adore my presence. So I was someone who was necessarily alone. I had a couple friends, y'all, and the ones that were fucking with me, y'all, were the ones that were walking as well, y'all, because people who are living in that kind of phase, y'all, can relate to you because they're experiencing as well, You think that you're the only one being treated harsh? No. Everybody is on a daily basis. That's why you gotta learn the power of, non-reactions, y'all. Don't react to nothing, just accept it and, don't change the way they see life. Change the way, you see them. That saves you time. That saves you energy. And it makes you realize, well, you know, it wasn't me. I didn't do nothing wrong. I try to help others. You want to help others by being a better person, And, if that's not helping you in life, family, well, then it's not you. Because everybody has free will, y'all. If you were to build a castle out of sand, y'all, someone has the power to just to kick that hole over and make you start over because everybody's not gonna help you in this world, y'all. People are against you, or people are, only wishing to see you fail so they can clown you. That's what I say, and everybody else tells you to never tell nobody your problems. Just, walk away when you can because you're only appreciated, y'all, when your presence makes them, think about you, y'all. That's your power as well. You know, your charisma, it has the power to affect them when you are no longer there. So let's just say, you know, you went somewhere, y'all, or you were with someone. Well, once you are gone, or you remove yourself, your energy, you know, over time it tenses curiosity, y'all, because people start to dwell on the past. They start to, wish what was, but you can't take back how you treat someone, or how you know, let's just say you look at someone like they have no value. Well, you gotta remove yourself, family. I want to save y'all time from people and how they move in this society, y'all. Don't, take it out on the people. Take it out on the world you're living in, y'all, because, you know, if the world wanted to show you peace and happiness all day, we would be living in a peaceful society. So, you know, my best advice for anybody who's struggling right now, or for anybody who's questioning themselves, well, you shouldn't even be questioning yourself, because you are a walking universe. You have the power to manifest, and you have the power to not do nothing with yourself, y'all. That's truly powerful, because now that you know that no one's saving you, are you gonna save yourself, or are you, fine with overthinking, worrying about it too much, y'all? I was once like you. I was once like someone who was thinking about something instead of moving with it, right? Because you realize after many problems that come into your life, there's only so much you could do. You think about it and you're just like, man, well, I was real on my part, so the only thing I could do was live and accept what was handed to me, because God is forcing me to become someone better, you know? Experiences that I learned that are good and bad, I gotta carry with me, to remind me why I'm, this cold and strong of an individual. So shall you as well, family. Carry on every problem that was once thrown at you, or if you feel targeted, don't forget that, because you are worthy of everything you want. You have worth, and that's why they try to sense it and take it out of you, y'all, while you're not fully knowing that, because the biggest weapon that someone has against you, y'all, is the ability to give you and tell you things, and you're just gonna accept it as is on the battlefield. No. Remember, y'all, you are a master builder. You build your life from the ground upwards, right? No one can take away your actions and the things you did. The only thing they could do is try to make you forget, or to remind you of how they perceive you. But if you truly know yourself within, and you accept every feat about you, you're the winner, y'all, because there's only so much you can do for other people. But I remind y'all that this was a video, y'all. I don't want to make it too long, y'all, because I'm gonna drop more content out for y'all. Let's just say more so experienced topics and subjects. But just know that, don't learn, just walk the fuck away, y'all, when you are being looked at as a fool, or this world is treating you like a speck, because you are so much more worthy. You can become the king you want to be, that you might see in your mind. You might already be the king, y'all. Nothing outside of you dictates whether you are king or not. It's about how you perceive yourself. So once you know that you are worthy in a world like this, where everything follows that, because no one can mimic that energy. You can't go in the store and buy, confidence on a jar, and they sell it to you. It's not gonna happen, because if you genuinely don't feel it within yourself, you're never gonna get wherever you are headed. You're only gonna be looking and chasing, or trying to peek in other people's life. So, it's best to walk away, family, and focus on your reality, your goals. You got, a legacy to leave behind. Every man should want to leave behind something that was, once remembered by his work. It's not about results, y'all, and it's not about how others look at it. It's about you putting in that work, so it don't go, unknown. You wanna at least know that you did something with your life, y'all. You lived it well. But this was the video, family, and if you related to this, well, shit, I appreciate you for sticking to the end of this video. Don't ever question yourself if you made the right motive, and don't choose someone else's wise words over your own brain, because you know what's really true, y'all. You can only believe what so much, others might say, but your power is in your belief, literally, whether you believe them or you believe yourself. That's the key to your power, y'all. You were born in this world with no worth, right? But it was reversed the whole time, because actually you're worth more than anything in this world. That's why you can't be replicated, y'all. You can be only, copied on so much of a level, but they can't copy your soul and your spirit, or just anything that you do behind that, which is your intent, your presence, because the Creator has put us all down here to, performing different acts, y'all, for the people who are the watchers. That's why, whatever you like doing, you better fulfill that happily, and stick to the void, y'all, because the void ain't never gonna betray you. That darkness is gonna remind you that I have a reason to live every day. The question is, are you gonna choose to live every day for what you wanna do? Or are you gonna live enslaved, stuck? Family? This is just a better, look out on life, y'all. Not everybody has my point of view on topics like these, so that's why I like to express mine to the forefront, because maybe you just might save yourself time and worrying about that external bullshit, family. Everything's internal first. Remember, you are the worth. Everything that they see, or everybody that wants worthiness, which is they see in this world that was taught to them, it eventually follows what's already worth, man, because that can't be faked, man. Your presence, it brings everything to you like a magnet, y'all. As long as you act and you stay functionable, don't question yourself and don't think too much about it. Just already know yourself, man. But I'll see you on the next video, family. You better walk the fuck away,